There are 8 phrases that quietly reveal how a person thinks. Not their education, not their job title, just 8 common sentences. Ones you hear every single day that separate a rigid mind from a flexible one. And by the end of this video, you'll never unhear them again. Here's something most people misunderstand about intelligence. It's not about how much you know. It's about how willing you are to update what you know. Psychologists call this cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt your thinking when new information arrives. And the fascinating thing is, this doesn't show up in test scores. It shows up in language. The words you default to under pressure, in disagreements, in everyday conversation. They expose whether your mind is open or closed, whether you're growing or just defending. Let's look at 8 phrases that high IQ individuals have quietly removed from their vocabulary, and why each one matters more than you think. 1. That's just how I am. This is not self-awareness. It's self-imprisonment. When someone says this, they're treating their personality like concrete, fixed, permanent, unmovable. But intelligent minds understand neuroplasticity. They know that identity is not a finished sculpture. It's clay. The moment you say, "That's just how I am," you give yourself permission to never evolve. High IQ individuals say something different. They say, "That's how I've been, but it's not how I have to stay." 2. I already know that. 5 words that shut down every learning opportunity. This phrase isn't about knowledge. It's about ego. When you say, "I already know that," you stop listening. And when you stop listening, you stop growing. Truly intelligent people understand that hearing something again, from a different angle, often unlocks a deeper layer of understanding they missed the first time. 3. It's not my fault. Blame is cognitively easy. Responsibility is cognitively expensive. It requires you to analyze your own role, accept discomfort, and adjust. People with high cognitive flexibility instinctively look inward first. Not because they enjoy guilt, but because they know that's where the useful information lives. If it's never your fault, it's also never in your control. And that's a far more dangerous place to live. 4. That's impossible. This phrase disguises a limitation as a fact. When someone says, "That's impossible," what they usually mean is, "I can't see how." High IQ individuals recognize the difference between the boundaries of reality and the boundaries of their own imagination. They replace impossible with, "I haven't figured it out yet." One closes the door. The other leaves it cracked open. 5. I don't care what anyone thinks. This sounds like confidence. It's usually not. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. When people repeat this phrase, they're often shielding themselves from valid feedback. Intelligent people do care what certain people think. Selectively, strategically. They know that the right criticism from the right person is one of the fastest tools for growth. 6. They're just lucky. Attributing someone else's success entirely to luck is a defense mechanism. It protects you from an uncomfortable question. What are they doing that I'm not? High IQ minds study success instead of dismissing it. They know that luck exists, but they also know that preparation, consistency, and pattern recognition create most of what the world calls lucky. 7. There's no point in trying. This is learned helplessness speaking. It's what happens when someone has failed enough times without reflecting on why. The intelligent mind doesn't guarantee success before starting. It understands that data comes from action. Even a failed attempt teaches you something that thinking never could. 8. Because I said so. This phrase ends conversations. It replaces reasoning with authority. People with high IQ are willing to explain their thinking, not because they owe anyone a justification, but because they trust their logic enough to expose it. If your reasoning can't survive being spoken out loud, it probably wasn't strong reasoning to begin with. Intelligence isn't a number. It's a pattern. And patterns live in language. The phrases you repeat shape how you think, how you respond to failure, and how much room you leave for growth. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to stop using the words that keep you from becoming one. If this gave you something to think about, consider subscribing. This channel is a quiet place for people who want to understand themselves a little better, one video at a time.